Well, welcome. It is so good to see you all here. Thank you for being here. Is my audio okay? Can folks hear me all right?
It sounds good.
Perfect. And you've got the visuals up, the slides are up. We're ready to rock and roll. Well, I'm recording this session. I'm thinking we might have it available for folks that aren't able to catch us. So just wanted to give everyone a heads up about that. Very excited to have you here. All of us are. I've got a number of my awesome accounting colleagues here with me. My name's Matt Hogue. I am the coordinator of accounting here at Gonzaga University, and I'm excited to share our programs with you all for the next hour. As we're getting in, if you've got questions as you go, you're welcome to throw them into chat. There should be some time for questions at the end, and I can hang around for a little bit after the meeting for any folks that are able to talk as well. And then I know myself and all of my colleagues are always happy to discuss accounting beyond this. So any other questions that pop up anytime, please reach out to any of us. So I wanted to share first overview and agenda of what I am going to be sharing with you. First, I want to do some introductions. I've got a number of my awesome colleagues here, so we're going to introduce ourselves to you. We've also got a couple of current accounting students that are going to share their experience. And so we'll do introductions to kick off and then provide an overview of the accounting programs here at Gonzaga, which is why I anticipate most of you are here. Predominantly, we'll focus on the undergraduate program, so the Bachelor in Business Administration, major in accounting. And we'll also discuss some potential options beyond your undergraduate degree just to plant some seeds and certainly give you some vision to what the accounting career paths look like. As I mentioned, I've got a couple of our awesome students here to share their perspectives. We'll close by discussing student opportunities. Accounting major is in just a fantastic major, and you'll see there are lots of great opportunities for you. So I want to share some of those with you as well. And as I mentioned, we'll wrap up with some open time for any questions and discussion that you might have. So briefly, I already mentioned my name. I'm Matt Hogue. I'm actually an undergrad alum of Gonzaga University, and I teach predominantly in the financial accounting, auditing, and as of the last couple of years in the analytics area. My hometown's Federal Way, Washington, and in the spirit of the current setting and a lot of us staying home and eating home cooked meals more, missing some of our favorite restaurants, I wanted to share and be awesome if some of my colleagues might share their favorite restaurant that they're missing, they're most excited to get out to. For me, it's a great pizza place out kind of near my house called the Flying Goat. And so I am excited. We've done plenty of takeout there, but I'm excited to be able to have some pizza out on their awesome patio when things get a little bit back to normal. Monica, did I see you join us? Monica is a colleague of ours. She, fun fact, taught accounting in Fiji, and she's also taught Oregon State in Virginia, and we're happy to have her out at Gonzaga now. She teaches advanced accounting and financial statement analysis, so accounting and finance students get the pleasure of having Monica Banyi, Dr. Banyi, teach them. Next up is Dr. Barone, and he is here, I believe I saw.
I am. Nice to meet everybody. It's nice to see some familiar faces from my class, my 260 class right now. I also teach in the financial accounting area, a section or two of the principles class. I teach all of the intermediate, and then I have some graduate classes as well. I'm from the East Coast, and this is my 15th year teaching here at Gonzaga. I currently have two students who are undergrads here at GU, a sophomore and a junior. My favorite restaurant that I'm missing is probably the Our Thai House over on Hamilton. I haven't been there in a long time, and I'm really now, Matt, thanks for bringing that up. You got me missing it, pretty much now. So
Sorry about that.
Getting back there sometime. Nice to meet everybody.
Thanks so much, Gerhard. Next up, Dr. Brasich, Andrew Brasich.
Hi, look at, it's like I'm doing a yoga pose right there, getting limber on that picture. I'm Andrew Brasich. I work with Dr. Hogue on in a leadership role in the accounting department. I run the grad programs and I teach tax. It is true, my arms are too long for my body. I cannot find a shirt that fits most of my, I don't know if you guys can see on the camera, but it'll be pretty short. You think that might translate into some skill sets like basketball, but unfortunately, there were other necessary skills for that sport that I lacked. Hey, Hogue, you said you want me to do favorite restaurant? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
You know, I think it depends on what we're looking for. Wisconsin burger for a burger, I think it's probably the best around. And I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you on the pizza. I do think Verace is probably the best and most authentic pizza around in town, at least. So yeah.
I don't think you can go too wrong with pizza, but this is fantastic. I'll have to try that. I haven't yet. Thank you so much, Andrew. Kathy, I know she's joining us remote. Can she do a quick introduction? So the fabulous Professor DeHart, many of you have probably had, you may have her currently. She teaches principles 1 and 2 here. She also teaches in our graduate programs, professional writing, and is launching a sustainability accounting seminar. She's done a lot of really cool work with sustainability certifications. She's from Sun River, Oregon. She is, I think, the only one of us who has had a class with John Stockton when she was an undergrad student here, which is pretty cool. And I don't know, I should have gathered her favorite restaurant so I could share it. I'll have to maybe share it after the fact, but that is Kathy DeHart. Next up is Professor Kern, Sarah Kern.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Sarah Kern. I teach in the areas of auditing and systems and sometimes in forensic accounting and ethics. I grew up in downstate New York, and then I spent about a decade in Western New York in the Buffalo region, which is where I got my doctorate. And I'm in my 16th year now here at Gonzaga. And I will say that I think Matt Hogue stole my idea about the flying goat. So if I had to name my second favorite restaurant after the pizza there, because I have some pretty pleasant memories from going out to friends there, but actually right across the street from that is a place called Downriver Grill that has some really cool food as well. And I am definitely missing going out with friends. So looking forward to hopefully doing some more socialization once we can all get vaccinated.
Amen to that. Thanks. And sorry for taking your idea. You did share it. Once you planted that seed yesterday, I couldn't forget it. And it's really good. So you could have said it too. Downriver is also very good. Awesome. Next up, we've got Professor LaBelle. Jillian, I think I saw you in here.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jillian LaBelle, and I teach at the principal level, so principal 1 and 2. I have lots of current and past students on here now. I've been at Gonzaga 2.5-ish years, so I'm new, but loving it. And my favorite restaurant, I was gonna say Downriver. That's my favorite place to go, non-kid. I'll go more of a kid-friendly route is Tomato Street is a fun place to go for little kids, or if you're a kid at heart, can't go wrong. Tomato Street.
That is a good one. I almost said Red Robin because kid favorite, but that felt a little goofy, but a lot of the dining in our house is kid-centric too.
Yes.
I'm with you on that one.
Yes.
Awesome. Next up, we've got Professor Law, Dan Law. I don't think I saw him, but Dan, are you here? Okay. So Professor Law teaches predominantly managerial accounting. Again, a number of you may have him in 261. He also teaches our cost accounting class, which you would take your senior year. Fun fact about him, he speaks fluent Dutch. I certainly do not speak fluent Dutch, but it's fun to hear him rattle off accounting in Dutch as well. So if you know Dutch and you want to combine two passions, accounting and Dutch, he's your guy.
Well, Matt, but we're not really sure. I mean, he tells us it's fluent, but we have no way.
I've heard him speak. He's pretty good. I don't know it, so
but it sounds good. But I don't.
I guess that's fair.
Klingon, for as far as I know.
Yeah, and I'm an auditor. I should trust but verify. I should bring a real Dutch person in. And good point. Good point. So, anyways, that's Professor Law. Next up, we have Professor McNeilis, who I do believe I saw. You're on, Casey?
Yes, I am here. Thanks, Matt. So good to be with all you guys, and welcome, and hope we can answer your questions about the accounting program. So I've been at Gonzaga for 4 years now. Before that, I was at the University of Montana for 6 years. I teach financial accounting. So that means I teach accounting 260. So a few familiar faces in here. At the junior level, you'll have my intermediate accounting 2 class, and then I teach accounting theory in the MAC program. So glad to be here with you. Gonzaga is a great place, and the accounting program is really awesome. So as far as favorite restaurants goes, you all mentioned some of my favorites. The last nice restaurant I think I ate at was the Downriver Grill. I spent my birthday, my kids and my wife, they took me to Tomato Street. Outside of that, because I have young kids, it's usually Red Robin or Buffalo Wild Wings. But if I have to branch out, Post Street Ale House. Love the burgers there.
Yeah, that's a good spot. Awesome. Thank you, Casey. Next up is Professor Weber. Gary.
You bet. Hi, everybody. Glad you could make it today and excited to see so many people interested in the accounting major. My name is Gary Weber, and I teach tax both at the undergraduate and graduate level. I'm from the Midwest, Lima, Ohio, a booming metropolis, known for having the cheapest housing in the country, mainly because nobody wants to live there. Fun fact is Professors Brasich and Hogue were my undergraduate advisees during their undergraduate years at Gonzaga. I'm happy to say they were amazing students and even better colleagues now. Gee, my favorite restaurant. So I'd have to go with Downriver as being a real favorite. But I have to tell you, in terms of just missing a place, for many reasons, it would probably be right now Klinkerdagger. My daughter's actually a host there on weekends, so we're always able to sneak a good table. But also because in the summer, spring, summer, when the weather's great, there's nothing better than going there out on the deck and having a drink and some appetizers. So that's kind of just a fun place to escape on a beautiful afternoon and evening to enjoy the beautiful Spokane Falls and to see the city in a really, really different place. So if you've never done it, when the weather turns, it's awesome, great place to be, and really, really fun. So that's it.
So, right, consolation prize for y'all. If the accounting doesn't resonate after this is all done, you've at least got some great restaurants. And I'm thinking you're all going to leave here thrilled with accounting and with a whole host of restaurant suggestions too. So thanks. So that is the accounting faculty here at Gonzaga. We are a really collegial group of people, if you didn't pick up on that. And as Gary mentioned, and many others did as well, we're just thrilled that you're here and interested in our accounting programs. We have 2 of our fantastic students with us as well. So first, I'd like to have Sydney introduce herself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sydney. I am currently a junior majoring in accounting and human resource management. And I am from Boise, Idaho originally. And my fun fact is that I studied abroad in Spain right before COVID, and I had planned to do things like recruiting and all of that online. And then of course, plans changed and everything went online, and I had to leave the country with less than 24 hours notice. So that was exciting, but not the best. And yeah, I'm excited to be here today. My restaurant, I think I'm gonna have to tag along with a few other people and say Wisconsin Burger.
Very good. Awesome. Thank you, Sydney. Glad to have you here with us. And next up, we have Sam.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sam McEwen, and I'm currently a senior studying accounting and also studying human resource management, just like Sydney. I'm also from Boise, which I think it's funny both of us happen to be here and both have that in common. But I'm also starting my first year in the MTax program, which is the Masters of Taxation 3-2 program. And I currently serve as the Beta Alpha Psi president. One fun fact about me is that I've been to over 30 concerts in the past 10 years. One of my best friends from home, his mom worked at a porta potty company, and outdoor concerts need porta potties. And so we got a lot of free tickets, and I saw a lot of people I never would have expected to see before. But yeah, excited to be here.
Awesome. And as Sam kind of alluded to, just because both he and Sydney hail from Boise, and in fact, they both are doing accounting and human resource management combination, I want to stress that that is not the only path. It's a great path, and we're very happy to have folks, but we will welcome all comers various interests and certainly different hometowns. We just happened to have two Boise natives join us here today. So excellent. For my colleagues, if you want to stick around, we would love to have you, but intros, we're all set. And as I mentioned, we will be recording this, so you can always critique our presentation later too. But certainly thanks for popping in. And again, I want to stress to everyone here, students attending, if you've got questions, myself, Dr. Brasich, we're very happy to answer questions, but I think the same is true for any of us, and I would extend that, I imagine, to Sydney and Sam as well. So please do reach out to us if you've got any questions beyond. So I wanted to start with an overview of our accounting programs. I already mentioned, and I hope you've gotten a taste for this. It's why I wanted to spend some time, a good chunk of this time, doing introductions so you could see the collegiality that we have. And I think that is one of our defining and honestly most important characteristics. We as a faculty really work well together. We really enjoy the interactions we have with our students, and I think that is what makes Gonzaga a really special place. Another hallmark is the passion that we have. You'll see that the various subjects we teach, our interests and excitement to teach and to learn new things and to help connect you all as students with the accounting material in preparation for your success and careers. I really think it shines through. And so we're looking forward to having you join us in this community. And again, happy that we get to share some of this with you today. Our purpose is to develop highly ethical graduates that are qualified for wherever their careers take them, right? Predominantly, our students focus on accounting. Many of them go into public accounting, but we do see a number of our students go into broader financial services positions at a number of companies in the area, like Costco and DaVita and Weyerhaeuser, and Amazon lately is seeing a number of our students interested as well. And so a wealth of opportunities, and we'll share some more of those later on. But as an overview, we certainly aim to prepare students to be successful. We certainly see a number of measures of our success as a program out there. US News and World Reports rank our programs highly. Undergraduate and graduate are both in the top 25 region there. And then what we're most proud of, I think, is how successful our students are at passing the CPA exam. To obtain your CPA licensure, the exam is an important benchmark. There are 4 sections to the exam, and nationwide pass rate is somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 60% first time. And our students pass at a rate of 82.4%, which ranks 10th best in the nation amongst large programs in the neighborhood of 60 students graduating, taking the exam. And we're actually best in the West Coast. So a program that, again, I think thanks to the collegiality, the passion that the faculty and students bring to the table, the interest for learning, and a lot of rigor. And again, we'll share some more of that as we go, but we certainly see it pay off in success with our students' ability to pass the CPA exam rate, find great placement opportunities and career prospects. As you know, and I expect many of you are drawn to Gonzaga as a whole, it's for the Jesuit education. And we certainly see that here in the School of Business Administration and within our accounting program. The Jesuit Approach guides what we try to do with the accounting program and our curriculum and how we approach our interactions with students. Our focus, of course, is on the full growth of the individual and with the intention that that would lead to action. Accounting professionals are incredibly vital parts of our community. I think you have probably already seen that a little bit in either the interactions that you've had coming into Gonzaga, maybe with family members or friends. I think you've probably seen some of that in your principal's classes, your accounting 260 and 261. And I certainly know you'll see that as you continue into the accounting program. It is a profession that really requires public trust. And because of that, the ethics and individual integrity of all accountants is really important to make sure that we uphold the public's trust in the work that we do. And so really, again, we focus on developing well-rounded individuals that are thoughtful, that are curious, that are first and foremost acting with integrity in everything they do. And again, that means we're supporting each other, we're pushing each other to do challenging things, but great things. And we certainly know that many of you here in the session are in your first year or two at the university. And so you're well familiar with the university core and our business foundation classes. As you progress into the upper division classes in years 3 and 4, we will continue with the university core themes of caring and doing, imagining what's possible. And as you'll see here in a sec, we've got a very full accounting curriculum that you would be looking at over your 3rd and 4th year at the university as well. So as I mentioned, the focus for this presentation at least will be our undergraduate program. We'll certainly share a little bit about next steps. And you can see actually some of those hinted at here. But I do want to introduce that there are 2 primary tracks that our students are considering in the program. There is a non-CPA track. An undergraduate degree at Gonzaga has a minimum credit hour requirement of 128 credit hours. And to get an accounting major, there's 27 specific upper division accounting credits that you would take. So 9 different upper division classes spread across typically years 3 and 4 in your program. To sit for the CPA exam, if you were to go the CPA track, there's a requirement that you have 150 semester credit hours. And so that requires usually some planning, working with an advisor. Maybe students roll in some AP credits. Maybe you're looking at a double major. And yes, it can again be a major other than HRM, though HRM works fantastic with accounting. I saw Mary Beth, our awesome sophomore advisor here, and I know some of you already know her well and are working with her. And once again, we as accounting faculty are happy to work with you to start mapping out. But one goal for yourself, if you choose to pursue the Certified Public Accountancy License, the CPA, is that you would want to make sure that you had 150 credit hours lined up. So whether that was getting an extra major or bringing in some AP coursework and you would be fine just with the accounting major, or potentially considering graduate program. A number of our students do. We have 2 graduate programs, the Master's in Accountancy for our audit track folks and the Master's in Science and Taxation for those that want to go into the lovely field that is tax accounting. For our students, we offer what's known as the 3-2 program, where you would actually start taking graduate classes your senior year. And that's a great way to get in and honestly knock out a graduate degree with a 5th year that also allows you to have a lot of flexibility for the CPA exam. So we're always happy to share more about specifics of how you would meet the track, but I wanted to at least introduce that to you. For a number of students, you're well aware, but for many accounting students, you maybe weren't thinking about the licensure aspect, and it's an important one to be reflecting on so that we can fold your plans in regarding the CPA as part of your broader academic planning. To highlight at least those 9 classes that I referenced, this is the current curriculum, the coursework for the major in accounting, your, again, Bachelor in Business Administration's degree. We have 2 majors here, right? A major in Business Administration and then a concentration in something like HRM, Finance, MIS, and then a separate major in accounting. So if you choose the major in accounting, and we certainly hope you will, you're looking at a total of 9 classes. And I've got roughly there, the F stands for fall and the S for spring. So you can roughly lay out and see where the schedule comes. You'd be looking at intermediate accounting 1 and tax 1 generally during your junior year in the fall, and then intermediate 2, tax 2 in the spring. And then your senior year, you would have the remaining 5 classes: data analytics, accounting information systems, auditing, cost accounting, and advanced financial accounting. We have a number of students who are interested in studying abroad. Again, probably one of those things that many of us are thinking about longingly as we get to a hopefully much more normal COVID-free existence here in the not too distant future. And it's certainly something that we can work with students to be able to do, whether you do that in the summer or even during one of the semesters. Some students are able to do it their 2nd semester as a sophomore. A lot of students do it sometime during their 3rd year, their junior year, and we can certainly work with students. We offer a number of these classes during the summer, and we can work with you to tailor a schedule so that you can do that sort of stuff as well. And I know Sydney would probably do it a little differently given her experience if she had a chance, but certainly I think she'd be happy to share some of her experiences getting plugged in to do study abroad for those of you interested as well. Wrapping up my piece here, I wanted to give just a little bit more overview summarized here about the CPA exam and licensure. As you saw, it's certainly not the only track. We have a number of students who do pursue accounting major and don't intend to get the CPA exam. To give you an example, Amazon, for instance, hires a number of finance, accounting, MIS students, just general business students. And for the accounting students, you would be doing accounting analysis tests with Amazon, but they don't require that you have a CPA license to do that. So oftentimes, if you go into private industry, those organizations may not require a CPA. If you do choose to go the CPA route, many of our students look at public accounting initially. And again, as I mentioned earlier, the 150 credit hours is a requirement to sit for the CPA exam. The CPA exam itself has 4 sections, at least currently. We're right now looking like we may be a few years out from some changes to the CPA exam that might tweak that. But the 4 sections are audit focus section, a BEC, which is business and economic concepts, FAR, which is financial accounting and reporting, and then REG, which is law, tax. So you do those 4 sections, you schedule them generally individually and take them at a testing center. And then in addition to the education exam, there's 2 additional E's for your CPA licensure. That's an ethics requirement, at least in most states. It's maybe an ethics course with a self-test, some form of examination is pretty common. And then there's a work experience requirement as well. So the gateways sort of to get your CPA licensure are these 4 E's: the education, the exam itself, passing all 4 sections, some element of ethics, and work experience. And the requirements differ slightly state by state. Right, we're very well versed with getting students plugged in whatever state. Obviously, Washington, California, Oregon, Colorado, Idaho are right in our wheelhouse. We've got a number of students that go out and obtain their licensures in those states, but we've had students from all over the country looking to get licensure, and we are very, very comfortable navigating the different states' requirements to ensure that you're plugged in and ready to go. All right, so next I want to share what I think is probably going to be the most pertinent part of this presentation for you all, some students' perspectives. Again, we've got Sydney and Sam here to share. You all maybe paper, rock, scissors for who goes first, but I am excited to let them share some of their experiences with our program for you all.
Okay, yeah, I can go first. That's good with you. Yeah, so a few of the opportunities and experiences, like Dr. Hogue mentioned before, the first 2 years kind of lay the basis for the program, and then the next 2 years are more focused on your future and building those skill sets. And I definitely would say take advantage of the faculty members. They've had experience in all sorts of areas, and they can provide a lot of different opportunities, whether that be helping finding internships, the classes themselves, experiential learning, even like networking and case competitions that come to campus. All of that has been fantastic. Another part of the program that I've really loved are the core values. As we discussed, ethics is a huge part of accounting. And I think that's something that's prevalent. I know we all have to take ethics courses with the Gonzaga core, but in the classes, it becomes pretty prevalent too. In addition, I think just like professionalism and success and availability of the professors has definitely helped me build that part of my I guess, personality and like working with other places and like outside of school. And in addition to that, I would just say like take advantage of all the office hours. Like I said, the faculty are all here to help and like make the experience a complete experience for us as students. And I would also recommend staying involved in any way that you can, whether that's in accounting or outside. I think Sam and I would both say joining BAP is a great choice with networking and getting to know your peers more too.
Yeah, I think Sydney.
You want to share what BAP is real quick too, either one of you, just for those that may not be familiar?
I can go ahead and do that real quick. So Beta Alpha Psi, or BAP, is the honor society for accounting, MIS, and finance students. And so it's a really great opportunity to come in and both learn various professional development skills such as resume writing, networking techniques, interview tactics, things like that. But also it's just great to interact with various firms and businesses out there to either ask them questions to see if it's something that you might be interested in doing later in life, or just getting to know them in case that's where you want to work later. So obviously, if you have any more questions on that, either Sydney or I would definitely be happy to talk about that too. But I think Sydney touched on a lot of the parts of accounting that, make it a lot easier to manage. And what that for me is talking a lot with professors. So if I have questions, going into office hours and working through some of those with the professors. And I think just in general, building relationships with them. Honestly, every accounting professor is so willing to help you, both academically and professionally. So I would definitely take advantage of that. One last thing I would say is the idea of why accounting. I've heard a few times that accountants or accounting majors understand the business side of things, but business majors or business people don't always understand the accounting side of things. We as accounting majors have such a broad view of kind of how a business runs, and really it's just about understanding and reading information and data to make business decisions and to make ethical decisions. And so really it's just such a broad major that you can do whatever you want with it. I know friends that are using it to go into public accounting, into corporate accounting, and a few that are using it for entrepreneurship and stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and pass it off to Dr. Hogue.
Sorry, I didn't mean to push you along there.
No, you're good.
Fat fingered my scroll wheel here on my mouse. Thank you. So thanks so much for sharing. Again, I think you're picking up on a theme, and that was certainly one that I found during my time here as well, with as Professor Weber mentioned, with him as my advisor, connecting with faculty early and often. You obviously have some touch points with your current faculty in your accounting 260, 261 experience. But we're all happy to meet with you. As many of you know, I think the general model is we have our freshman and sophomore advising in the school business, and then junior year you get plugged in formally with a advisor in your discipline, accounting, HRM, finance, what have you. But you don't need to wait for that formal sort of connection to be made to reach out and discuss your own specific goals and how we can help you achieve those goals. So certainly reach out, and as you get into classes and feel strained, I hope a number of you have already found that going in to connect with your professors is indeed a great opportunity, and certainly encourage you to continue to do that going forward. A few specific student experiences that I wanted to highlight because I think they're amongst the cooler things we do here. Data analytics we have as a 3-credit class in our major. Our current junior students are the first class that actually have that as a requirement. So it's a relatively new requirement. It is something that we hear from the professionals that are recruiting on campus, both in public accounting and again in industry clients like Amazon, Costco, and from our advisory panel of professionals and alumni. Analytics is just a crucial part of the profession nowadays. Accountants, like many other business professionals, are looking to do their work better, more efficiently, more effectively. They're looking to leverage and harness these vast amounts of data that are out there to engage in better decision making and evaluation of business problems. And so data is very much at the heart of what we do at accountants. And I think it's natural that we would be at the forefront of some of these really cool changes that are going on in the workplace. And so data analytics is something that is very much a part of where the profession looks to be headed. And as a result, something that we try to plug our students in to here. The data analytics class you would take as an undergrad offers a lot of hands-on experience with various programs. Excel is very common, but also programs like Tableau and Alteryx. You may start hearing about other programs as you start plugging in with the accounting firms. And I always encourage students to share some of those different programs with me as I look to keep that class and the overall curriculum current. Going into our master's in programs, the tax and audit program, we also have a number of classes in analytics that involve deeper dives into topics like blockchain, robotic process automation, digging into visualizations with Power BI, Microsoft's Power BI tool. And so if that is something that is of interest to you, you're going to get a lot of it. And if it's something that wasn't much on your radar now coming into accounting, it's something that I would encourage you to start asking more questions about and exploring. I mentioned earlier that Professor DeHart offers our professional writing in the graduate programs, having students that are, again, very thoughtful and curious, but also really can effectively communicate is something that our professionals that recruit here on campus consistently praise our students for being able to do. And I think, again, you all in your hard work and Kathy in leading that class and now bringing that more into the sustainability accounting realm is really going to be a cool experience. And again, the sustainability accounting piece of professional writing is really where we're headed now more with that. And so it's a neat way to develop further your writing skills in a professional setting, but to do it in this really cool applied setting of sustainability accounting. We offer this great forensic accounting lab called the Justice for Fraud Victims program, something that Professors Kern and Weber have been working with, and it's now been running here at Gonzaga for, I want to say 15 years. Sarah, are you still on? Or did she drop off? She maybe dropped off. So Justice for Fraud Victims pairs students with victims of white collar crime, of fraud, of theft in the community. They're generally working with victims that don't have the financial resources to pay for a professional forensic investigation, and it offers hands-on work experience auditing, specifically in a forensic accounting context. You're trying to essentially build a case, and we've actually had some projects out of that class that are brought into court, and in some cases we've actually won for those clients and gotten them restitution for the crimes they were subjected to. You're working in partnership with local law enforcement, and again, what students really appreciate about that class is it is hands-on, but more important is you're serving the public good, right? You're serving community members that have gone through a really tough experience in being defrauded and helping them find some justice. We offer programs in tax, at least in most years. The COVID certainly is a little bit of a wrinkle currently, but our VITA program works in partnership with local community service leaders to complete tax returns for individuals, to help find opportunities and tax credits for those individuals they may not have been aware of otherwise. And we've processed in the past enormous amounts of tax forms, which again are of great benefit to the community members. As many of us may know, a lot of people don't like doing their tax forms, and we accountants tend to like doing it. So people are happy if we'll do it for them. They're certainly happy if we'll do it for free. And for students, it's a great opportunity to get experience in a client service sort of a role. The final thing I wanted to highlight was internships and summer Discover programs. As I mentioned several times, we've got a number of firms that are recruiting on campus, and in many cases, they want to start plugging in students to internships in their summer leadership or Discover programs a couple years before you're set to graduate or become CPA eligible. And so on a 4-year plan, for instance, this current spring, you might already be hearing a little bit about these job postings and opportunities and hearing inklings of Summer Discover. If you're thinking about a 4-year accounting plan, you would actually be plugging in for Summer Discover this current spring. And so again, I want to share some of these different benchmarks and plant some seeds. We're always happy to meet. I know Sydney and Sam would be happy to kind of introduce you and talk through the process. But you might find that some of these opportunities sneak up on you faster than you expect. And so starting to map out what you intend to do with regards to CPA, graduation, CPA eligibility, so that you can find the right timeline for recruiting is something you want to start on sooner rather than later. Sydney or Sam, do you have anything to share about your internship or Summer Discover program experiences?
Yeah. You want to go first?
No, go ahead.
So I had an internship this past summer. It obviously was a very different looking internship than you would typically expect, just because everything kind of got shifted really quickly. But from my experience, it was really just a great opportunity to see how some of the things you're learning in class actually apply in the work setting. I remember we talked about a lot of different programs that they were using and some pretty cool things that they had just been developing that aren't released yet. I thought it was really cool to kind of see how things were going to look in a real setting. Summer Discover programs, those are great opportunities to see what different firms have to offer. And I thought that was kind of a great tool to make my decision on where I wanted to end up. But yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add, Sydney.
Yeah, I exactly what Sam said. I think the only other piece of advice I might offer is applying to as many internships as you feel comfortable, but attending as many of those Discover programs can always be great. It's always great to talk to more professionals and get a better feel of the future work environment too.
Yeah, so you probably picked up a little bit. These Discover programs are a chance for the firms to show you more about what they do, who they are, and you can do a number of them. So they're typically some cases maybe a 2 or 3 day program where you plug in really as part of the recruiting process, but it's one where they're very interested in you and they're starting to think more about, okay, how can we share what we do as an appeal to you as a prospective recruit. We have a number of students that often have 3 or 4 different firms that they'll be doing the summer Discover programs with. And then those summer Discover programs, like I said, usually happen 2 summers out from graduation. The end of the summer, you would typically get an offer for an internship from one or again, more of those Discover programs. And then you would choose one of those firms to do your internship with next summer. Sydney indicated some students do multiple internships. You can't really do multiple in the same summer, but you can do an internship in the spring with a local tax firm. Some students might do internship one summer with Boeing or Costco, and then do an internship with public accounting to try to see what those 2 possible career paths look like. And once again, lots of people here that are happy to connect with you and help you identify opportunities there, but to get plugged in with something that works for you. All right, so the finish line slide, I wanted to share some additional careers and outcomes. I've already mentioned the CPA exam success, and for our students that go into public accounting, which is a good portion of them, the CPA exam is an important benchmark. And so getting our students well prepared for success in the CPA exam, passing it that first time so you don't have to continue to take it, so you can be done with it when you start working, is important, because working in a day in accounting with a client and then having to come home and study or prepare for the CPA exam is no fun. So we take pride in having our students get through it by the time they're done and graduating and turning that tassel, whether it's the undergraduate degree or the graduate degree. We also do a great job placing our students. Our graduate programs, we saw the recent stats, MS tax program had 100% placement rate within 3 months. The MAC program was 95%. Undergraduate placement rate is 90% in 3 to 6 months. That undergraduate one does include students that would roll into the master's or graduate program, as a number of our students do as well. Our ZAG accounting grads, again, see enormous success. We have a lot of students do a great job passing the CPA exam. Some students take it a step further and pass it at an extremely high level. The top 0.5% in the nation of scores, I think you have to score 95.5% or better on all 4 sections. There's a nationwide award called the Elijah Watt Sells Award, and we have had several winners of that. Placing in the top 0.5% in the nation is pretty cool. We've had students go to the FASB. A recent student went and joined the FASB, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, as an academic student fellow, which is a really cool opportunity. The accounting firms, essentially defer your employment so you can have that great experience coming right out of school. We see our students, as I mentioned, go into public accounting, corporate and industry, and a number of students go into government or nonprofit jobs as well. And destinations, I already kind of highlighted that we're very comfortable with students getting licensure in California, Oregon, Colorado. We see students go to Seattle, Portland, Spokane, Bay Area, Los Angeles, Denver, High, Phoenix. We see a number of students, and we've actually had a number of students go to London for some generally tax opportunities there with the large accounting firms, and many others. That just scratches the surface. So to sum it all up, accounting really offers a broad set of opportunities and destinations. It's a really great foundation for success. I think Sam really well summarized what accounting here at Gonzaga is all about and how the recruiters see our accounting students as being very curious as far as their knowledge set. I think it's almost a given with our recruiters that our students are going to know accounting well. And again, we see that in the CPA exam pass rates, but our students also are really able to see the big picture of business. And that's a very powerful thing. Accounting is, in my mind, a great vehicle for learning about business. And myself, I'm just fascinated by businesses and where they fit in our society and how they can do good for the world and for their stakeholders. And accounting is the key means that they're able to communicate what they're doing, how they're engaging in the world, how they're providing value, how they're selling, how they're operating. And so as much as I love learning about business, accounting was a cool vehicle to get there. And I just think it's a great foundation for success. We've got a decent chunk of time, about 13 minutes or so, for any questions. Are there any questions from anyone? You can put them in chat or feel free to unmute and.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So this is kind of aimed at Sydney. So it sounded like when you were studying abroad, unfortunately it got cut short and whatnot, but with that process and making sure that you stayed on track for the sequence of classes for the accounting major, how did you deal with that? Did you do it over the summer, or were you able to do it abroad as well?
Yeah, so I hadn't planned super far in advance for it, but it kind of worked out well. I was able to take managerial accounting while I was in Spain. And I'm not sure how many programs at Gonzaga or through Gonzaga offer managerial accounting abroad. I know a lot of people also take some of the junior level classes in the summer in like a sort of fast-paced version of it in order to study abroad in their junior year. And I'm not quite sure what all of the different opportunities are, but the managerial accounting path doing that abroad worked the best for me. And I could stay on track. And even though I had to come home early, it still all worked out. And yeah, it was a great experience. So I would definitely recommend anyone who can to try to participate in a study abroad program, either during their time at Gonzaga or like in the summers, whatever.
Okay, thank you.
And is that Chris who asked that question?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just add, Sydney referenced the summer options, and we would work with you. Like I said, lately we've had more and more students doing it, maybe their sophomore year or just a summer program. But if you do it sometime during your junior year, we offer the junior year, the third year classes during the summer in an accelerated format, right? And the intention of that accelerated format is to give you a summer. It used to be common here at Gonzaga that you would do a full year in Florence. A number of our students did that. It's much more common now just to do a semester. But when students doing a full year, we really got kind of the process stuck of saying, well, we don't want to have a student here the entire summer doing accounting, because then you're going to go off for a year, and that summer is really important time to be with family and friends before you go study abroad. And so that's just kind of stuck, even though now a semester is much more common. So you would do, for instance, like your intermediate accounting 1 class as an example in 3 weeks, and you could potentially follow that up with the tax 1 class and have your entire fall semester done in 6 weeks, right? It's taking a semester long accounting class and crunching it into a 3-week period. So it is really intense. We recommend students look at it as a job and essentially work full time for those 3 weeks. But I actually taught the intermediate 2 class in that format. It's a really cool collegial sort of in the trenches together format, and you're done, right? You rip off the Band-Aid and you're done. And then you go off and have an awesome study abroad experience and come back to campus with a great world perspective and plug right back in.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You bet. Mary Beth asked, how do students sign up for the Summer Discover programs? Easiest way to get plugged in is through the Career and Professional Services team here on campus. If you haven't done that, certainly do that. Most firms are still communicating with them about opportunities. Most firms have also started offering their pathways to the Summer Discover programs directly through their own websites. And so you're always welcome to plug in there. And again, you're traditionally looking for summer leadership or Discover programs. If you've ever got any, difficulties finding these websites, I'm happy to connect with you and kind of show you through that path. But a lot of the firms you can plug in directly and apply directly on their website. And then both Sydney and Sam mentioned Beta Alpha Psi, our honors accounting society. A big part of what they do is networking. Every week, typically there's a firm coming in and sharing, and you get a chance to network with that firm representative. And oftentimes, maybe not as part of the presentation, but in that conversation afterwards, they're more than happy to share how you can get plugged in and recruit and apply and start that process. So if you're not plugged in with Career Professional Services, start there. Any of the accounting firms, you can generally plug in with their website, and then Beta Alpha Psi are probably your three best. You say that's fair, Sam and Sydney?
Yeah, I would just add one other thing. I think some of the firms are working towards building the Discover programs into the internship. So you're offered both at the same time.
Yep.
And then have them in consecutive summers. So just kind of a heads up on that too when you apply.
Yeah,
for
so you're
1
looking
year.
for probably not Discover. I think you're right. A lot of them, you're just looking for internship, and they would kind of bill it as part of their internship recruiting. We have a question here. Mentioned there were certain things to check off for accounting, pursue the 3-2 option. Who would I talk to start planning for that? Myself or Professor Brasich. You see both of our email addresses here on the slide. Either one of us are more than happy. Brasich himself is our coordinator for graduate accounting programs. So as you get more specific in your questions about the graduate degree programs, he would be the most knowledgeable, but I've found that I'm generally pretty able to get questions answered as well. So I would say just set up an appointment. I think both of us are generally doing Zoom appointments right now, and we'll get you dialed in. And if we have any additional questions that are unanswered, we'll get you connected with the right people. Mateo asks, summer leadership program more targeted towards sophomores or freshmen too? It's pegged more to when you expect to become CPA eligible. So if you're on a graduate degree plan, you're going to do one of our graduate programs, maybe the 3-2 program here, you would generally do it your junior year. Most firms are doing it again, either sophomore year or for a 4-year plan eligibility as you're graduating as a senior undergrad degree only, or the following year junior if you're looking to get your graduate degree to get the 150 credit hour threshold. Some of the firms do have other opportunities for kind of early Discover and those sorts of programs. The best way to get connected is just to explore their websites, to get plugged in when they're here on campus. You see someone with PwC, Pricewaterhouse, or Deloitte, or KPMG, or Moss Adams, or Eide Bailly are holding office hours. Join them during those office hours, join them for the coffee talks, and just ask questions. Let them know where you are at in your academic career. Let them know what your goals are, and ask them what sorts of opportunities they may have for you as a freshman. And if they've got any, they'd be more than happy to share those with you. Did you, Sam or Sydney, have any exposure to opportunities as early as your first year?
No, but one thing I'll say is that I have switched my major now 9 times, and I did not declare accounting until junior year. And so while I do think getting on it as early as you can, if you know what you want to do, is great, I don't think you'll necessarily fall behind if you're still trying to figure some things out.
I would agree with that. There's time to figure it out, and we're here to help you. And personalization is a key aspect of, I think, the Gonzaga experience in general, but certainly is true of our accounting program. Christina asked, you mentioned there were certain things to check off for accounting. If I wanted, I already got that one, sorry. Katrina mentioned CPA preparation, master's program, applying for summer leadership programs. What do they look like for 5-year track versus the 4-year track? I think the biggest thing, if you were to go 5-year track, is we would highly encourage doing the 3-2 program that allows you to take up to 9 of your graduate credits as an undergraduate student. It makes for a packed 4 years. And if you want to double major, again, it's really, well, if you want to double major, you want to do international study abroad, anything like that, it's really crucial that you meet with one of us accounting faculty early on so we can map out your schedule and make sure we get all the pieces in the right place. If you want to try to do 9 credits your senior year, but you've got all these finance requirements, or again, you studied abroad and we're trying to get you through your university core and your accounting undergrad classes, and there's just no room to allow those credits in, right? You need those 9 credits free in your schedule. Unless you're doing something like Hogan or honors where you might be able to overload, you start to see, you don't get the benefit of doing the 3-2 program if you have to overload and pay for those additional credits. Plus it's just an overload, right? That's hard for a lot of students to do. And so planning early, meeting with us individually to kind of look at those different options specific to what you're doing is probably your best bet. But generally speaking, again, from a recruiting front, you're plugging in a year earlier. If you're on a 4-year track, it would essentially for most students be their sophomore or second year. When you're doing your 261 class, maybe you're starting to recruit for summer leadership and or at least the Discover programs and building toward an internship between your junior and senior year. If you're going the 5 years, your internship would be between senior and 5th year, and Discover program comes back one summer between junior and senior. And then just getting those credits free in the 3-2 program if you want to do it, making sure you got the 9 credits. And then what that allows you to have is 9 less credits your 5th year. And that's when students really rock and roll and do good work on the CPA exam. And I'll note, I know there's maybe another question or two. We're right at time, so if you've got to drop off, feel free. Certainly don't have to hang out, but I will stick around to answer questions. I want to give special thanks to Sydney and Sam and to my colleagues who joined us here. I appreciate you, Sharon, and I'll reach out to them afterwards and see if I maybe get their email addresses in case any of you are interested, just to confirm. But like I said, we're all faculty and students alike generally very happy to help out with any questions you have. So I appreciate you joining us and sharing your questions. And like I said, if you got anything else for me, let me know. I'll stick around.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.